1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So far, 7, 8, all female on the call.
Great.
So our special guest, Ms. Donna, if you can take yourself off, show your video so everybody can see.
Okay, let me click in here.
Oh, yay, now we got, there's more of us.
Do I have control of my video? Oh, there it is. Yes, I do. All right.
So we've got 11 right now on the call, and we are all female.
Okay. Let me do a little switch here.
Us women, no, I'm kidding. Where's Jason? We got to give him a hard time. So everyone, let's welcome Miss Donna Stewart. Donna is a HUNA practitioner, full initiator, 16 years, NLP master practitioner. She was a principal before. She is a health coach, and she's getting certified, and she'll quickly explain all about that to you guys. I wanted her to come on because I really want for her to give you guys some great information as to how to take care of yourself. And so Donna, we'll give you 10 minutes to just share some great information with these gals.
Right. I'm putting my timer on because I can talk. Well, good morning, everyone. It is so great to be here with all of you. I'm so excited. How's everyone doing this morning? You're here, you push the buttons and you got yourself here. That's amazing. And so in the time that we're here, when Teresa asked me to talk about health, I was so excited. And then when she said 10 minutes, I went, are you kidding me? No. And so my task was to get something that's going to be really viable and meaningful to you. And so I think you're going to hear 4 or 5 points that you can actually put into action today. And that's the key piece, because we only have at the moment, we only have today. And so the importance of health, I think that we've all seen in the newspaper and everything that, with COVID, we've lived with for the last 1.5 years or so, going on 2 years, how important our health really is to us. And so before we do that, Teresa gave you a little bit of an introduction. So first of all, I'd like to, say I'm so honored to be here and have 10 minutes of your time, because I know every minute of your day is so important. And I'm a retired high school teacher. My subjects, well, I was a high school principal and a middle school principal. My background was math, science, and psychology. And so from a principal seat, you can imagine I've seen it all. I was the first principal of 2 of the 3 of my schools that was a female. So women, you would appreciate this. And I was the first junior in my high school to become a cheerleader. I was the first female allowed to enroll in print shop, all male territory. And I was the school newspaper editor. So that was kind of my explanation why I should be enrolled in print shop. So I've kind of been on the first in a lot of things. And I was probably one of the first in my generation to read Adele Davis's book on Let's Eat Right and Keep Fit. And that was in 1954. Mm-hmm. And what was my motivation to do that, you might ask? Well, I was a chubby teenager, and we all know as a chubby teenager when Twiggy was like the model of perfection. And also my grandmother was diagnosed with diabetes. So at 10, all I knew is that she had diabetes and she was going to have a shot every day. And that was motivation for me. I didn't want to have to do needles every day. And so as early as the 1950s, we were hearing about the value of nutrition and foods and how bad the American diet was in 1950s. So imagine it's so much worse today. And our bodies weren't built for today's environments, our physical, emotional, mental environments, and what we eat as food, what we were programmed to eat or what we ate for millenniums. And COVID was an excellent eye opener because those who were least healthy or fit were the ones that were most vulnerable. Only 5% of the death certificates list only COVID-19. 95% of the death certificates list other factors contributing to the death. Obesity, the severity of which is directly proportional to the individual's vulnerability, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, and basically other chronic diseases. And that in and itself should be enough of a motivator to get us going and to make some changes in our diet and in our health, because that's our greatest defense against all of these diseases, COVID-19 and any other viruses that are going to come along in the future, and they will be coming along. And so we can do something about it. So is that enough? Why? If not, here's some more stuff. 1 out of 3 US children and adults suffer from some form of nutritional deficiency. 1 in 3. 100% of us are potassium deprived. And why? Because the bioavailability, man, I had trouble saying this morning too. The bioavailability of the nutrients in what we are eating are compromised. The food has fewer nutrients because of soil depletion and processing. When we process our foods, the nutrients disappear. Adults 65 and older, 54% of us take 4 or more prescriptions, which only treat the symptoms and not the sources. 1 in 5 of us have autoimmune disease. There are over 100 types of autoimmune diseases like Crohn's, etc. And that has increased, get this number, 300% in just the last 10 years. So where are we going to be in 10 more years? We have 65% of Americans are overweight. 1/3 of them are clinically obese, and they will be, or will be at least by 2013. 35% meet the criteria for having irritable bowel syndrome. So quickly, what is health? It's multifaceted. We've added social friendships, family, and community to an aspect of our health. We found that out in COVID. We have mental health, emotional health, but our physical health is really the foundation. You're here, you're talking about the $1 million real estate agent. So you've got multi-millions of dollars, but what if you can't enjoy them? We want you to be healthy enough to jump in that Lamborghini, drive along the coast, and go have lunch at your favorite restaurant with your friends. And that's the goal. And if you don't have a strong, healthy body, then you're not going to be able to enjoy these millions that you're working so hard for. So your excuse is, oh, I have bad genes. Everybody in my family is overweight. Everybody this, everybody that. Actually, epigenetics tells us that 85% of who you are right now sitting in that chair is a result of you, 85%. Only 15% is your genetics. That the expression of your genetics is your day-to-day decision-making, what you eat, how you behave, what you think. Yes, you have control over what you think and all the rest of it. So you're saying, okay, well, then where do I begin? Because we can see as we go down the street, we can see that Americans are not making good decisions in regard to their health, their diet, their behaviors, their activity levels, and their environments. So where do you stand is the question. What's your why? What's your next step? And what's going to motivate you to take that next step? Well, there are just a few simple reasons, and I have 3 minutes to throw them in here real quick. So how? Get moving, pay attention. When your watch tells you you have 10 minutes, at 10 minutes of the hour, it always dings, and you're looking around at the meeting. Get up, stand up, and move. Don't just raise your hand, because we all know how to cheat the watch. Raise it and it thinks you stood up. So actually stand up, get moving. Doesn't mean join the gym, do any of that stuff. It's a simple thing, just get moving. You can satisfy 2 things at once. The second one is get out, get in the sunshine. We all need vitamin D, vitamin K are the things that are critical to assisting in the processing of keeping us healthy. So 15 minutes a day if you can. Anything helps. Take the first step. Do some research. The third thing is do some research and self-evaluation. Find the right eating plan for you and your body. We're finding that through genetics, we can determine whether we are best suited for a carnivore diet, a paleo diet, a keto diet, a vegetarian, pescatarian, or one of the other tarians, or vegan. We also know that if you choose to go vegan or vegetarian, that it may take extra work to make sure that you have all the vital nutrients because of what we talked about before, soil depletion and so on. So we now have get moving, get out in the sun, find the right diet for you that you will stick with. Find one that has your favorite foods. Eliminate all processed foods, refined sugar, that can feel not good. But when you get off of the sugar roller coaster, you're going to feel so much better. There's so much research about you're going to have clarity of thought. It's an inhibitor. It's a defense against Alzheimer's, cloudy thinking, energy, and a million other things. Stop all the industrial processed oils. That includes soy oil, seed oils, flax oils, canola oils, all the ones that are in everything. If you read the labels, start reading the labels, it'll scare you. Most of the stuff you can't pronounce. And sugar, fructose, some form of that is in almost everything that we eat nowadays. The third thing in the eliminate is all processed, canned, pre-prepared foods. That includes takeouts and everything. Kind of the word is, if you can't wash it, don't eat it. So that takes out ice cream, that takes out donuts, that takes out prepared hamburgers, all the stuff that we love. If it's packaged in a package or in a box, you shouldn't eat it. It should be coming out of the ground or out of the periphery of the grocery store. And they're likely to have ingredients that number one is that you can't pronounce, but the other ones is the ingredients are compromised nutritionally, and they have very limited bioavailability because through the processing, it removes nutrition. And we found way back in the 50s when Adele Davis, that tells me my time's up. We found back in the 50s that Adele Davis was saying that we need the whole food, because if we're taking a piece out of it, the body doesn't know how to process that piece. The body is programmed to eat the entire food. And so all the other nutrients in the food are assisters to prep the body so it can assimilate the food. So a few things that you can actually do today, a step toward being healthy so that you can enjoy all of the proceeds of all the effort. And so I hope that's helped with a few highlights and given you a little motivation. You can do it. We can all do it. The things that I put out there are pretty simple. And keep your why in mind. So thank you very much for letting me be part of this morning. And I think Ariane is going to give some my contact information if you have more questions.
Thank you. Ladies, did y'all get at least a good nugget from what she shared with us on what and how we, for those of you like myself who what I put in my body makes a huge difference. Thank you again, Donna. Yeah.
Hey, you're welcome.
So we'll get your information, and if whoever wants to ask her more questions, just reach out to her.
Yes, thank you again.
Thank you, Donna. Okay, so, and what Donna just kind of tied in is, if we think about what we read, it's all about how a millionaire agent thinks. And one thing is their health, their physical, what they are putting into their bodies, and think powered by a big why. Page 72. High achievers always have a big why. So on our first book club, I kind of led and asked you guys questions. I want you guys to lead it today. I want to hear some takeaways that you got from the pages that we read, which all truly, it is, when looking at it, the foundation of how you're going to build your business, which is truly the way you think. A lot of it's mindset. So share with me, who would like to share first on some takeaways that they got from the pages.
This is Karen. I can share. Can you hear me?
Yes, Karen. Yes. Okay. Share with us. What are some things that you got out of this book?
Well, I'm thinking that most of the agents that are in this call are experienced agents. Like, we didn't just start. We've been around the block a couple of times. I apologize, and I got to speak in my phone, and I can't talk through the Zoom. Well, and when they say that you come in and you work to learn as opposed to work to earn, I'm not in the position where I can just work to learn. I gotta earn. I gotta make money. So they're suggesting, they compared it to like a doctor and the internship, and there's years and years before they're actually on their own and fully a doctor. We do not, at least I don't have that luxury. I have to come in and I have to work to earn. So that was a little conflicting with where I'm at right now in my business. And I was wondering if anybody could help me work through that.
Sure. Anyone want to respond to that?
I will. I'll go next. For me, my big why and purpose.
Diane, her question was, she's asking if someone can help her figure out, whenever in part of the book, it talks about working to learn versus just working to earn. And for Karen, she's got to earn in order to survive. So she's conflicted with the whole, why is Gary writing that you've got to work to learn versus working to earn? And so she's asking for help from one of us to give her an understanding about that.
I think the two are not in conflict. It's true that all of us are also in here to make a good living.
Okay, let's go on the sidewalk.
But I think at the back end, you need to have
We can't hear you.
Muted.
Sorry. So I said that, like Gary says, that when you are seeking a higher purpose and you're seeking a higher level of perfection, you will automatically end up making more money because your systems, your why is at a higher level, and your systems and your models and your methods are at a better level because you're trying to get better and better. That does not preclude earning. That, the fact that we're here and we're doing, I think automatically gives you an earning. I think we need to set some time aside because otherwise we hit the glass ceiling. So this is not just for the present, but it's for the future too, that you need to have a big why. So I don't think the two are in conflict. I think they go hand in hand.
Thank you. Diane, did you want to answer?
Yeah, I basically am saying the same thing that Jyoti said, that if you know your big why and come from the heart and learn, take the process and learn as you go along, the money will come. I mean, it's just all hand in hand, like she said. And don't be in the business just for the money. Be in the business to help people and be sincere about it and come from the heart. The rest will come.
So if we go back and we look at the one model that that is in the Mrea, it's the one where sometimes we don't learn the foundation and we go to creativity. and it's not stable, right? Because if we don't, it's on page 37. If you have the MREA in front of you, it's important to learn the models first, which are the foundation of the business, and then you can use the creativity. So if we think about it in that context, where the earning is the creativity and the learning are the models, then that makes sense. Do you follow me, Karen? Like if you look at it, for those of us that are visual, think of, instead of it saying models, think of it saying learning, and creativity earning. Because if we don't know what we're doing, then it's going to be hard for us to earn. And that is why, one other reason, and Diane and Jyoti were absolutely spot on as well as with what they were sharing.
Teresa, I just want to chime in too.
Yes.
I think what we're doing is learning right now. So, and as a result of it, we're going to be earning.
Amen.
So to me, it goes hand in hand. Yes, and then the young lady that spoke, asking the question, if she really thinks about it, she had to learn before she earned, and she's earning because she learned.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a continuous cycle. And a lot of times we kind of differentiate it, but it's really all in one.
Absolutely. So what did you guys think about the 9 ways that a millionaire real estate agent thinks? The big why, big goals, models, possibilities, action, without fear, progress, competitively and strategically, standards and service. Which one of those 9 really hit to you guys, like, hit home for you? Where you feel that there's opportunity for growth, you're doing it really well. What are some of your thoughts?
For me, when I was going through this time, and there, I think it was page 73, there was a point that said, stop and figure out what motivates you. And so I never did that before reading through the MREA. So I stopped and actually did it and wrote everything down. And again, it came up with all these financial goals. So kind of like you were talking, Karen, you need the money to live your life. And so I think I've been working towards financial goals, but the bad part about that, when you need the money, is when you're working for that money and you get to that point, then you're like, okay, I'm going to be okay. I've got what I need. And I don't keep going. Where, looking at it more for the growth, personal growth, and working towards these bigger goals that I have, that really stood out to me this time going through it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And you know what, forgive me. When y'all are talking, please introduce yourself and where you're from. I would love for us all to be able to refer business to one another. So whoever's next, just introduce yourself. That was Beth, Colorado. Introduce yourself really fast.
Hi, I'm Beth Gibson from Denver, Colorado.
Perfect.
And I've been in business for 13 years.
Thank you. Okay, so who's next?
I'll go.
Oh, you want to go?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, this is Allison. I'm from upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region, and my big why, it ties into what I enjoy. I enjoy providing housing for people. It's very important, whether it's shelter for an apartment or shelter for a home. So that part I love. And if I can tie that in, and of course I do like making money, but what I've heard is if you do what you love, the money will come. And so I'm constantly trying to hone my skill so I can just get out there and do what I enjoy the most. And that's it.
Thank you.
So I am Siobhan Evans. I'm from Norman, Oklahoma, which is part of the greater Oklahoma City metro area. And I also focus on my big why. I've been rewriting my mission statement to reflect my big why. I would avoid in my listing presentation having my mission, vision, values. And so I've been really going through that and working on that. And my big why is through social equity right now, is getting people into housing. And I think that also goes like to Karen talking about your learning before earning, is that like I have a client right now that was turned away by several realtors because she's not going to buy a really big house. She's selling a little condo. And we found a house and it probably needs like a 203K loan. And tons of people in my office are like, I don't do 203K loans. They're too hard. They're too this. But I've done a few. And because I learned that, I will now earn her money and a client for life because I'm taking care of her. So that is my contribution.
Thank you. Who's next?
I'll chime in again. I'm Diane from the Woodlands, Houston, Texas. Good morning, everyone. I think for me, and a good example of that was yesterday when we were on a compliance Zoom meeting. To stay on top of your business and know the current rules and regulations. So you need to constantly be learning and staying on top of your business so that you can provide the most accurate information to your clients. And always keep in mind that you're representing your clients and making the informed suggestions to them so that things don't go awry. So constantly learning. And then of course, as we've said before, everything else will fall into place. The money will come. They will appreciate your honesty and sincerity if it comes from the heart, but also to have that accurate information as well. So constantly learning. Thanks.
Thank you. Who else? Anyone else?
I can go.
Okay.
So I was just, as I was going through the MREA book, and I keep highlighting and so on. So this is the list of my big why, which you can't see. Yeah, the yellow one, which I had made, I realized 2 years ago. And as I was reading it the other day, I made a new list here independently. And then I suddenly realized that I had made it. So I tried to compare, and I found that my the goals are pretty much the same. The big whys were pretty much the same. But one of the things, and Gary keeps asking about the foundational whys, and you go to the big why. And I found that as I was going to the big why, the money part, whatever were my physical, the financial goals, and then I wrote what my drivers were for those goals. And in some cases, it was a fuel factor, and in some cases, it was a friction factor. So, I find that the fuel factor is very strong. It helps me push, but I also have to address my friction factors, which pull me behind. So I think I think that really helped me writing the why and what were the drivers behind the why. So it started from things like, the negative parts of it, and it moved towards love and gratitude, and it moved towards things like learning about myself and overcoming my, issues and helping people and so on. Sometimes it feels a little dissociated, saying, how can that really translate into my work and in getting me my financial goals? And it'll work out, but on the way.
Awesome. Thank you, Jyoti. So what I'd love to challenge each of you, and for those of you who were on the first call, I challenged you to write about the myths. So I would love for you to look at the 9 ways a millionaire real estate agent thinks. And I'd love for you to, taking each one, really ask yourself, where is there opportunity for growth within myself for this way of thinking, for each 9? And that is an action plan that I'm going to challenge everyone. In fact, I'm going to do it myself. And Erin will follow up with everybody who's been on this call to just, I do read all of them. And so for those of you who did turn in and email me your myths, it was really just, I'm so grateful that you guys took the time to do it. And I trust that it was eye-opening for you as well. And I feel that this will be really eye-opening for you guys as well, to sit and just really, where's there opportunity for growth in myself, each way of thinking. And then there was the 80-20 rule, and it talks about leads, listings, and leverage, and that's 20% of our focus, which will give us 80% of our results. What do you guys think about that? When you think about just that 80-20 rule. So if we're spending, in our 20%, which are leads, listings, and leverage, that will give us 80% of our results right there. How strong of an impact do you feel that would make in your business if you truly were able to leverage everything and just put that 20%, stay in your 20%?
Well, actually, this is Karen. I'm in Maryland, been in business for 25 years. Actually, they did a comparison of like, if I'm going on vacation tomorrow, and the things, how I am in my business is that I'm not going to let people come in and have idle chatter with me. I'm going to focus on what's important, and I'm going to make sure I get it done no matter what, because I'm going on vacation tomorrow. And so I'm really focusing on my 20%. If I could go on vacation tomorrow every day, that means that every day I'm in here focusing on my 20%. So that's how I look at it.
Awesome. Thank you. Sherry, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, can you hear me? Am I muted? No, I'm unmuted. I think for me, it's like really, I'm struggling with my why, my big why. I think one of the things that hit me today, because I'm trying to learn as much as possible. And I've been listening to like James Shaw every morning also, which a lot of people coming from the gratitude and sharing things that they're doing in their market has really been helpful too. But I think like reading back through the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I have a lot of stuff highlighted from before, and it's really hitting me differently this time. And I think to me, like my big why and my focus, it's like the purpose of my life is to truly live my life before I die. And I guess too, it's really even hard for me to share a lot of these things, like losing my mother during this whole pandemic, not related to COVID, but cancer, and having my family dynamics change has been, I'm trying to focus on my business again in a different sense. I don't even know how to explain it, but I truly love helping people find their homes. And I've been doing this for 11 years, and my focus this last couple of years has really been off track. And that's why I ended up, getting a coach, trying to attend a lot of calls and learning. And really my goal isn't, I thought it was to help, do 7 million in sales and help 52 families. And really it's just helping people. And I think that money will come, and I'm not even focused on the number of reaching that monetary goal anymore. And it's just, that's kind of where I'm at. So it's like, this is all hitting me different. And I just kind of wanted to share that with you. I'm actually in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I've been doing real estate for 11 years. So I appreciate you all sharing stuff. And this is just all new to me, even participating in anything. I really kind of just have ran my business, and I would say a successful business, but I know that I'm capable of so much more. And I want to help as many people as possible getting into homes. because I know that's now during this whole pandemic, that's where people want to be, is having that safe place and getting there, whether it be moving across state closer to families now. That's, you know, kind of what I'm doing. And I'm actually going to have somebody walk in, so I'm going to end up having to mute. So I apologize.
Thank you for sharing. Anne Marie, I think you're the only
Thank you, Ray.
that has.
I'm Mrea. Very good gathering today. Thank you very much. As I hear everyone sharing their whys, I think of the word wise, W-I-S-E. And I think about to be, to do, and to have, to be wise is kind of how I look at my whys. Like I'm looking to surround myself with good company, with good people, to have good health, to have new adventures. And, you know, I don't know, it just kind of came to me as everybody was sharing. And for the 2080s, I wake up and my head is always just racing. So I always take time in the morning, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and I just write down every single thing that's in my head. And then I prioritize, what are the 3 things I must get done? What are the 5 things I must get done? And the chances are, when I look at the list at the end of the day, I got most of them done. But it's hard for me to deal with every day because there are so many distractions. But I like the word W-I-S-E in exchange for W-H-Y-S. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. And Tara, you briefly spoke, but you didn't. Why don't you introduce yourself and what is something, you know, that you feel about the 80-20 role?
Sure. So I'm Tara. I'm out of the tri-state area in South Jersey. So I'm licensed in New Jersey, PA, also deal with Delaware as well. So in terms of the 80-20 rule, I really love the analogy the young lady stated about going on vacation and that mindset, because we do get it done. And in regards to the list, I love the one thing. And I think going back to the one thing, what's the one thing that I need to do today that I'll be able to achieve my goals? Awesome. And I think if we think about the one thing, it really helps to be laser focused on what we need to do. And I think that's what it's all about. And that laser focus is that 20%. And that one thing is like, you know, sometimes I'm like, I didn't do anything else on that list, but I got that one thing I needed to get done. And I feel like I achieved. And I think for me, as well as other realtors, a lot of times we feel like we're not doing enough. We need to do more. And we get burnt out. And, you know, going back to saying, listen, it's okay. If I do that one thing, you know, and it's hard to say one thing because you have a list of so many other things, but that's where leverage comes in.
Yep. You know, and the last, you know, of course, there is that part in the book about the leads listings leverage. And I really am just so grateful for all of you who are showing up. This just shows how committed you are to making it a killer year next year, 2022. And by acknowledging where you are in regards to where there's opportunity for growth, you're going to be able to grow and learn so that, again, you can earn. As we wrap up the call today, is there anything that anybody would like to share? Any ahas, anything else that you guys want to share? Again, the action plan, the 9 ways a millionaire real estate agent thinks. I really want to challenge you guys to take each one and write where there's opportunity for growth for you. Okay? Because when we can start turning that around, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to start thinking like a millionaire agent, and you're going to hit that millionaire status. It starts with our mindset. Okay, which is why when we started the call, I was like, what we've been reading is really like our foundation. It's setting it up for us. When we can get this all correct up here and turned around, then when we're doing our action items, it's going to start happening. Any questions? Any ahas? No? Okay, so our next meeting is going to be December 1st. And if we can, I've got the 10:30 Central Standard Time. We are going to start going over the fundamental models, which are, the first one is the economic model. And this will be really important for all of us to make sure that we have a great understanding as to how we should be running our business, what the numbers are, what the budget is. So for those of you who have not printed out 3 months worth of bank statements, to get prepared for this, I would love for all of y'all to print out 3 months worth of bank statements. And I know I've asked some of y'all to do this before. Write out N for necessary, W for want, and U for unnecessary. We want to really be aware, consciously aware of what we're spending our money on and what we have, you know, what we're spending in our business, what we're spending in our personal life. I know with Tara, for example, she loves to look at what her budget is, and she'll say, I don't have it, you know, to spend on this. She knows. And so all of you, I want y'all to have that awareness. Okay. And so when we're talking about our financial goals, the economic model, you'll have clarity on what you are and where you are in that category of your finances. Okay. And that is pages 130 to, well, okay, so it's not a lot of pages, and I would really love for us to, so y'all tell me how you want to break this down. Do we want to read all of the models at once and get them all done in one call? Or do we really want to like spend time on each model?
This is Karen. My preference is to spend time on each model. I really want to digest and understand. I think if we put them all together, that's just going to spread our time out. So that's my personal preference.
Okay. So then if that's what we're going to do, because it's really literally only 5 pages, spend time on individual. Okay. So what I'd love for us to do though, because it's going to be do y'all want to have the meeting then sooner, since it's only 5 pages and we can focus on the economic model then? Okay. So Arian will send out, she'll send out, we'll give it, let's meet then next week. Let's meet on the 18th. Or actually either the 18th or the 19th. I'll have Arian send out an invite, and then just read the 5 pages. And that way that'll give you time also to print out your 3 months worth and get your, you know, figure out what you can, where you can be saving money, and also getting your budget put together so that when we come to the call, you all have your budget and your P&L with you. By a show of hands, Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, who would that work for? Show of hands.
9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay, so we can either do, or that Friday at 9:30. Okay, so let's do then the 18th, that Thursday at 9 a.m. because it looked like everybody can be available.
So that would be 10 for me, right? Marilyn?
Yes, 9 a.m. Central Standard. So if you're on the East Coast, it's an hour ahead, it'd be 10. So Erin will send out an invite for the 18th Thursday. So come to the call with your, you've already done your homework, the 3 months exercise, your P&L and your budget. Okay. And then we'll really spend some time on the economic model and where you are and where you should be. And it'll give you clarity on what you can, you know, if you're spending enough money in your marketing or not, or if you're spending too much, how can we cut it back? Okay. Awesome. Appreciate you, and all of y'all be well. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Be well.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you to Teresa and everybody.
Yep.